We could just put this.
Yeah.
I say like the intro for every video. You're seeing this right now. Could just be before we start.
Yeah. Eating some candy.
Alright,
I mean, I don't mind yellow Starburst, but like you're literally the only person I know that like that's their favorite.
They are my
and you love
favorite.
yellow Skittles.
Everything yellow, like lemon heads. Yeah. Oh, can you hand me that water?
Yeah.
Let's go. Yo, what's up, everybody? That's Trink. I'm Joshey, and we're about to talk about one of my favorite movies by one of my favorite directors. One of my favorite directors, Quentin Tarantino. The movie is Reservoir Dogs.
And when I watched Reservoir Dogs, it was the first time I watched it, and I was pretty impressed. Let's just get right into it. The first scene of the movie, the tip scene. Yes. I immediately thought Quentin Tarantino is the only person that could get away with that kind of dialogue.
It's just, and you know what, I will say this. I say this to everybody I know. The things that make Tarantino's are pointless conversation.
Yeah, and they're not boring.
They're not boring, but they're
weird.
Pointless.
Yeah. It doesn't make much sense, but
it's like the tipping thing. There's no foreshadowing later on in the movie. It's
there's just something about it. It kind of makes you feel like it's real. Yeah. That's why I think the dialogue's so good.
Because that's Mr. Pink's real feelings.
Because in Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, there's that meaningless dialogue, but he's the only person that can make it work.
Yeah. And one thing that's a little bit weird is I totally see Mr. Pink's point in when he's talking about tipping. But he's like, now I'm only doing this because you paid for my breakfast, and I would never do this under any other circumstance.
One thing about him is he's in a lot of comedy roles, like Adam Sandler.
Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, and he's fucking dumb. I hate him in comedy roles. And when I saw him, I'm like, Jesus. And then I was like, he's good.
Yeah.
He plays a very good gangster kinda. And I was like, what the hell? What's he doing with Adam Sandler and all those shitty movies?
One of my favorite lines from the movie, and I use this all the time when people are just pissing and moaning about something, when he's talking about the tipping, he goes, these waitresses make dick or something like that. He goes, you see this? It's the world's smallest violin playing just for the waitresses. I thought that is the best line ever.
He's such an asshole. And the thing about it is, skipping to the end, he's the only motherfucker to survive.
Yeah, it is.
And out of all of them, he's the one.
And I seen this one picture, I was just bored one day, I Googled, Reservoir Dogs, and I was looking at the images, and I saw this picture I thought was very interesting. It had all the colored ties. It had brown, blue, white. All of them had blood on them, except for the pink one.
Very true.
Which is very cool, because all of them die, except for Mr. Pink.
Yeah, and I really wish, before I watched the movie, I looked it up on IMDb and read the plot summary and all that. I kind of wish I didn't, but it really doesn't bother me that bad, because if I didn't know it was a bank robbery that went bad, seeing Mr. Orange just shot in the back of a car would have been so much more impacting, but still, it didn't ruin the movie.
Yeah, and
it really didn't.
That's the thing about Tarantino's, is especially with Pulp Fiction, it's the telling out of order. It's just
I wouldn't say it's as bad as Pulp Fiction. It still goes in an order. It goes in an order.
It's flashbacks.
Yeah.
And because that part where he shot is the current time. That's and
you never see the bank robbery. You never see them in the diamond store. You just see them running out, which I actually liked. That was a good decision.
Yeah. And that's the thing, but then they'll talk about what happened.
Yeah.
And that's where it goes into
And the thing, when they talk about Mr. Blonde, they never show him shooting them, and I think it's a lot better that way. It shows you that he's more of a psychopath, and then when he shows up, you're like, oh damn, shit's about to go down, and it does. Yeah. We'll get to that.
How about we talk about each of the colors?
Yeah, let's go with Mr. White first, because he's basically the main guy.
Yeah, so Harvey Keitel plays Mr. White.
He's the perfect for this kind of bank. Regular. Yeah, he's perfect for a bank robbery gangster kind of guy. He's so slick and that old look, and he's just perfect for his part. I honestly didn't think he'd die.
neither did I.
I really didn't know what was gonna happen, but I didn't know if they get away, if they go to jail, but I really didn't think the ending would kind of happen. I had a hunch, but the ending was good. I liked how it did end. And then Mr. Orange, my favorite. I can always remember him from Lie to Me.
Yeah, Tim Roth.
Yeah, Tim Roth. He was like, damn, like when he's shot and he's screeching and all that.
It's like, I'm gonna die, man.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Me and my buddy Casey, we play football together. We were in the house. It's like our locker room. It's a football house. And he stepped on a nail with bare feet, and the nail like went through his toe, and he was bleeding like really bad. Yeah. So my truck was parked outside, and I put him in my truck, and I'm taking him down to the trainer, which is like on the other side of the school, and I'm like, "You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. Say the fucking words. You're gonna be okay." And he's like, "I'm gonna be okay." But yeah, it's just funny, and like that's what Mr. White does when Mr. Orange is in the back, shot.
And the main driving force of the movie is that Mr. Pink thinks that one of them was a cop because the cops get there so quickly to the bank heist, and you don't think until the end of the movie you're like, it can't be Mr. Orange.
Yeah,
because they shot him. The cops wouldn't have shot him.
But they didn't shoot
him. And then you find out that the lady of the car that they stole shot him, and then you're like, oh, but by then you know he's the cop already. Yeah. So like.
But now you're like, wait, then how did
if he didn't do it and Mr. Blonde's the psycho killing people, then it has to be White or Pink, and then you're like, well, White couldn't do it because he's the main like gangster with the two bosses, and then I don't know, it's just
But like the thing is, so that's what I like.
Like you start doing process of elimination, you're like, who the hell could it be?
Yeah. All right, so we talked about White and Orange. Let's talk about some of them that you don't really see. Let's talk about Blue and Brown.
All right, Brown, Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw him there, I was kind of like, all right, he's either just gonna disappear or they're gonna kill him off because he always like cameos in his movies, and when he has a big party, he kind of dies.
Yeah.
Like in Dusk Till Dawn. Well, he didn't direct
that. He didn't. He wrote the screenplay for it.
Yeah. So like
So, but so Mr. Brown, one of the funniest parts of the movies is like Mr. Brown's like Mr. Shit. I always thought that was
that is funny.
It's just so funny. And what was it? When he's like, "You're Mr. Pink 'cause you're a maggot" or something. It's funny. So like Mr. Brown, he gets shot in the head. And now,
why the fuck I guess he gets shot in the car.
Yeah, he gets shot in the car.
Yeah.
Now wait, what? I haven't seen it in like a few months. What happens to Mr. Mr. Blue?
They just say they don't know.
Yeah.
He's like they either got him or he's dead. That's what they say.
So like, he's a mysterious character because he only has like one line in the movie.
Yeah, he's some old guy. And he's barely in it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's in the tip scene when he's like, "Do you know what these waitresses get paid?
Yeah.
They live off their tips," or something like that. That's really is like his only line in the movie. And that's what makes him more of a mysterious character because he's a forgettable character.
Yeah,
and you don't. But then, like, you think back, you're like, wait, there was a guy.
Yeah, all these people are in the beginning. You're like, oh, I'm gonna spend a whole movie with all these characters, but you really don't. There's only a few you really do. My favorite part of the movie is where he's like, "I'm deformed. Cut my ear off," and he goes, "Fuck you! I'm fucking dying here." And you could tell like a little bit of British broke out. Yeah. Because he has a very hard British accent.
He had to do a very good American impression to be in that movie.
Yeah. And then Mr.
Fuck you!
I'm fucking dying here, man. And then Mr. Blonde, he really is psycho.
Yeah. And Michael Madsen is the guy who played Mr. Blonde, and it's just his badass entry with the cup, like.
Yeah, like he got fast food before this. Yeah. And all of them are trying to run to this rendezvous and are covered in blood, and he's completely clean.
And he's just this cocky dickhead.
And they make it a point to make sure that he stays clean.
Yeah, and my favorite line when he's talking to Mr. White, he's like,
"Oh,
are you gonna bark all day, little doggy, or are you gonna bite?" I love that.
What the fuck you say to me? And then he says it again.
I said. And then he goes into it.
Is that great? They had to say it twice.
Mm-hmm.
Cuts this guy's ear off with a razor. And at first I thought it was just skin, which is anyway is still messed up.
Still fucked up.
And he cuts the ear off and like he's covered in blood. And he's gonna torch him. He covers him in gas and he's gonna burn him.
And I always thought like he has this huge ass hole in the side of his head. Imagine getting gasoline in a gaping wound.
Oh my god, yeah, and he's screaming when he does it. Yeah. Eddie, right?
Nice Guy Eddie.
Yeah, Nice Guy Eddie.
Played by Chris Penn.
Yeah, it's like I really wish I would have known what Mr. Blonde did to break the law for their like company.
Yeah.
And that like he has so much respect for him. It's mostly because he didn't squeal on them.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
What's Sean Penn?
Yeah.
Sean Penn's brother. Chris Penn plays Nice Guy Eddie.
Yeah.
Died about 10 years ago.
Oh really?
Of cardiovascular disease. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was. I was just looking it up. Yeah, because I mean everybody knows Sean Penn.
Yeah.
But Chris Penn plays Nice Guy Eddie, and I was like, oh, he's dead.
Mm.
I mean, because he was relatively younger in that movie, but
Yeah,
he
he was.
He was like in his mid-40s.
Mr. Blonde dies, then Nice Guy Eddie starts accusing him and like why he did it and thinks he doesn't think he's a cop. He's just suspicious of why he killed him. And Mr. White, of course, has defended him, saying he's a nice kid.
Mm-hmm.
And like honestly, I probably would have done what Mr. White did in that situation. So they're fighting, and then Joe, right? Joe comes in. Kind of funny, like to put comic relief in the scene. He goes, "I just know he's the cop. Gut feeling." And Mr. White's like, "Gut feeling." It's like, and then they're all pointing guns at each other. And one part that confused me, Joe shoots Mr. Orange, right? Yeah. And then Mr. White shoots Joe, and then Nice Guy shoots Mr. And then White. Does Mr. White shoot? Nice Guy Eddie gets shot. Does Nice Guy Eddie shoot him?
All right, so
Joe's the first one to shoot.
Joe pulls the gun on Mr. Orange.
And then Mr. White shoots Joe.
Mr. White pulls the gun on Joe.
Yeah.
Nice Guy Eddie pulls the gun on Mr. White.
Yeah. And they're cursing back and forth.
Fuck, fuck. And then, boom, and they all just die. It's just bah, 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 bah.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that, like, when he got shot by Nice Guy Eddie, as he was, like, Nice Guy Eddie was pulling the trigger, because his dad, as soon as he pulled the trigger, Mr. White shot.
Yeah.
So as soon as Nice Guy Eddie was shooting, I'm assuming Mr. White was already turning.
Yeah.
And as he got shot, he just shot him. And Mr. White just got shot somewhere where he didn't die right away.
Mm-hmm. And
you gotta start to feel bad for Mr. Orange. He's shot in 2 places, pale as shit, bleeding out.
And then, just the funny part is when Mr. Pink's like,
yeah, he comes out of like the rabbit hole
and he's like, all right, see ya. But then you can hear him get arrested in the background.
I was gonna ask, I was like, do you think Mr. Pink got away with the money, or do you think the cops got him?
You can hear
because the cops come right after that.
You can hear in the background, you can hear him get arrested.
And then the end of the movie, the slow, like, zoom in of... Another thing with, like, Mr. Orange is like, he's on his deathbed and goes, "I'm a cop," in that raspy voice. Like, his voice is completely gone, it seems. And he's like, he's like, "I'm sorry," and he says it again, like he thinks he's not gonna die. Mm-hmm. And then he shoots, and then the cops just shoot Mr. White. And then credits roll.
Yep.
Any facts? I know you know a lot about this movie.
Alright, well, it was made in 1990.
Oh, yeah. That's really about it. It's a great movie. I really recommend it.
It was Quentin Tarantino's, like, breakthrough feature film.
Yeah, like, you can tell. Like, if you've seen any movie, it has that feel.
Yeah, and he's made, like, films before that. There's one of them, I don't know the name of it, I should, but it wasn't, like, a feature film. It was kind of like John Carpenter's the Siege on the 42nd Precinct or something like that. I know I totally butchered that title, but put it right here. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm going to feel like an idiot when we look it up, but...
Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction are both movies that are, like, everyone talks about, and then when you finally get to see them, they're like, I know why.
Wow. That is why they're this popular.
Yeah, there's just certain movies where, like, everyone talks about them and you have to see them.
It's like The Breakfast Club. Everybody knows The Breakfast Club.
Everybody fucking knows The Breakfast
Club. Little side note, just a little thing I thought I'd share. Me and Trink both go to the same school, and they play music over the announcements in the morning, and they're playing Don't Forget About Me, the end of The Breakfast Club. And, I'm walking through the hallway like this, and I'm like, yes! This is going to be a great day. And this one girl who has a locker near mine, her name's Laura, I was like, Laura, name the movie and the year! And she's like, The Breakfast Club. And I'm like, what year? And she's like, 1997?
What?
I'm like, alright, see ya!
1997?
1997.
What?
The movie that epitomizes the 80s.
It really does.
It is just, I mean, I know I say that about,
we both do. Who cares?
Yeah, epitomizes the 80s. I say that about Slumber Party Massacre. But, when you think 80s, you think of The Breakfast Club.
Yeah, really.
Because not everybody knows Slumber Party Massacre. But like,
I bet you a lot.
Well, I mean, a lot of people do.
I know what you're saying.
But I'm saying, like, the popularity ratio is...
Another thing about that, I walked in the homeroom and one girl was talking like, yeah, The Breakfast Club, and then one kid's like, yeah, I hate it. I'm like, what? How do you hate The Breakfast Club? That's one movie that probably everybody likes.
Yeah, honestly.
Like, really. Like, there's horror movies that are, like, critically, like,
Critically acclaimed?
Yeah, no, that's not what I was thinking
Critically bashed?
No, critically acclaimed is what I was getting at, but I'm thinking of a movie, Silence of the Lambs. People call it a throw, but that's a fucking horror movie.
Yeah, it's
so, like, not everybody will like that. Not many people like horror, Reservoir Dogs, not everybody will like that kind of movie, but Breakfast Club, like, that's one that the whole family, everyone
not the whole family.
Everybody can like it.
It's rated R.
Shut up, everybody can watch it. But we'll get to that, Robert. We're definitely going to get to The Breakfast Club, probably. But
oh, absolutely. But, alright, yeah, so, like, I'm like, dude, it's from 1985. It's the middle of the 80s.
Yeah,
it's
literally.
like the 80s. Like, come on. But, yeah, so that pissed me off.
Yeah.
But, back to Reservoir Dogs. Well, there's really not much more to say about it. Yeah.
Great film.
Great film.
So that's really about it. Great cast. I definitely want to talk about the cast is just great. They all work together.
We got Michael Madsen, Tim Roth, Harvey Keitel.
Yeah. Funny part is, I looked at the cast list, and when I saw Tim Roth, I was like, he was second bill, and I was like, well, he's gonna die like in the first couple minutes of the movie. I was like, why is he built so high? I'm like, it's Quentin Tarantino flashback. He'll bring in a lot of flashbacks, but then he was in the whole movie anyway.
Yeah.
I'd want to get paid that much if I was that shitty part, but.
Yeah.
Whatever. So that's Reservoir Dogs.
That's it.
Thank you, Joshey, and that's it.
That's it.
Adios, guys.